Hello everybody, good evening. Would you interest 5 minutes meditation? Sure. Okay. So, those people who meditate a lot, we call 7 Tantrayana postures, but the more important, just your spine is very straight and your body is solid, not uptighted, but is more firm. And then bring your mind just in the present. And then your hands, you can put this way or this way, either way you like. And then breathing in. First I demonstrate for you. Breathing in first from the nostrils. And then hold maybe 15 seconds. And then after that you so the last one you really completely from the stomach, buttons from stomach to out very strongly. And do this 3 times and then, so then after that you meditate. So, okay, we can start. Breathing in. Hold 15 seconds. And then again breathing in longer. Again. And then you can breathe just whatever you need. Normal, natural breathing. And those you are advanced meditators, you don't need object to focus. You just aware your own mind and sit there. And those that will be new and struggling to concentrate, you focus your own breathing in and breathing out. This normal natural breathing. Focus this and nothing else. slowly, slowly come out from the meditation. Move very slowly. Everybody needs learn how to slow down and be mindful every moment of moment. Okay, now I'm going to pray that first pay homage to the Buddha and all lineage masters, express my gratitude, and then motivation prayer. Whatever we all do is for liberate all sentient beings, reminding that motivation, and also I invite the unseen beings to listen to Dhamma as well. Kanji sen churara ni mandara dang haji no jana dang dang ga no vi oji mamba sen zo ni bi un ma ga en da kanji ra jira yari kwan zhen bi zong na ga en ba de da dam ja da dam bi ko jira te bi song ni ne shen na da sha ke ka da sho je tong ga ji ten na de shi ho ma ge wa ga sa da dang da dam bi shu ji shen bi ji nyam da ro ba dam ja da sha ke namo arya dare lai ga da la da no je ka trum ka da mai ka nam da ro ga ji ga ka ja da tam cha ga da da ke chu da do ye gnam sha zun kam sam chu ji ja ro se chen yang ji te ra do wa pa de sang ji le da ma le ro yi dan ji ji zo me do hu zhe hu du gen ja ji ban lo zo ge jo pa na don ji kan ba la da de wa ja ni da cha gang ge tu si ne zong ni da dan ji gang yu she da bi ju ne dong za bi guo dang de la xiang za lo ja song za bi bi de ma lu zhe zhe che bre ni zo den ta gung ko lo ta mi de zhe ne o dong gi ja so sha ba da na sa su ma ba fa to mi a ji do mi u de dong no de yo za mo ja ji ne ri gi to pi ba ya de ya hu na da ko ko la de la so bo mu ja la ma se chen yo ji ji me dan ja a chen bi o ka ja ka ba la ye wang zhang ta kan zhen je di ya da chen ni zhe zo de ni bi pen zo se zhe ye ge ba ri de na sa fi zo shen da 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 ya kan di ye da mo yo sun da do ji nan je ji o sa da we da je mon da ji la yo o sa ra la ju je ju je ba na la so wa de cha su ma de ma chen ra je ji ya so me hong je je la sim chen do la ni da da je na da ba na ji nun te sa de so. Okay, so today our topic is the path of desire and how to practice in modern time. So, which means Tantra. So whether you say Vajrayana or Tantrayana, just same meaning. Different name and the same subject. So, but I think people have misconceptions. We have many misconceptions of Tantra. Therefore, we don't have very clarity for many people. So therefore, we are not incredibly success in this path. So tonight, I'm going to clarify what is we are missing. What is we are wrong focus and what's the problem? And if we are not focused wrong, and if we really focus the right place and the right essence, then is Tantrayana is an exceptional path. It is a supreme path. So that I want to try to discuss with you to understand. Okay? So because usually people have that idea, oh, Tantrayana is too high and too difficult, and the Sutrayana is easy. That part, that concept. At the same time, oh, Tantrayana is so good, and one second lifetime can enlighten Buddhahood, can reach Buddhahood. But the Sutrayana is like 3 countless eons. So then people have that, how do you say, people have interest in Tantrayana at the same time. But we are, of course, some great individual practitioners maybe success, but the majority of maybe not success and confused. So that's the we're going to talk and clarify today. Okay, so the first we have to understand that what is distinguish between the Sutra path and Tantra path. Okay, so all the ancient texts and everywhere described that the Sutra path is part of cause and condition. It's kind of easy to understand because everything is interdependent with the cause and condition. So there's nothing arise from without cause and condition. So that's why we working on cause and condition. So then we waiting for the result, the end game. So then it's okay. And so like we working on farm and we planting many grains and vegetable or fruits. Then we expecting and the result. So it's the cause and the result is not the same. But we know this cause and condition will reach, regardless how long take, they will we have some fruition. So that is the Sutrayana part, quite easy to understand. But the Tantrayana part say, oh, this end grain bring to the path. So that maybe people don't understand because the goal, the end goal, is the fruition, usually called fruition or result, is the Buddhahood. The Buddhahood. Buddha have few kayas, but actually Dharmakaya. The Dharmakaya, the original the Buddha, the Rupakaya can manifest from. So it's the Dharmakaya, the end goal, we achieve the Dharmakaya. Then how can you bring a Dharmakaya in part right now? That maybe people didn't analyze properly. If we didn't understand that properly, then our view is not 100% correct, and we have some holes and some gaps between the reality and our understanding, and then our practice path and everything have some holes, right? So that is maybe problem. So that is usually how come is the Buddhism have many layers, many progressive teachings. So provisional teaching and definitive teaching. So maybe people sometimes mix up that the provisional point of view, the lower point of view, bring to the upper, because Tantrayana the most high. So you can't bring the lower school's view, you can't bring up, but maybe some people mix up a little bit, so that's why we have some mistake. So if I give you an example, like this, so the Tantrayana part is the result part, you know, the end game is bring part, nobody have a debate. All traditions agree, no debate. And then Tantrayana is part is your all negative emotions. Usually we consider in the Sutrayana as like poisons, all anger and hatred, everything is become part, the highest yoga tantra. So that's also have no debate. Everybody agree. And then we have we have two truth, you know, the relative truth and ultimate truth. That's also all traditions have no argument, okay? But what the problem has comes is some schools thinking the relative truth and the ultimate truth both is empty itself. Both equally empty itself. Means both is illusion, not truly exist whatsoever. Okay? Okay, then this view is not going to match the highest Sutrayana, the third Dharma well, and not going to match all the Tantrayana, Vajrayana doctrines. You can't match this. Okay, so then the view is a little bit problem. And that is not just not matching the Tantrayana and Sutra, but also logically you have a problem, because let's say if both essenceless equally, then is samsara and nirvana both equally essenceless. And then your end goal and right now we have struggle in samsara both equally empty nature. So then there is kind of like there is no goal basically. Okay, so maybe people don't understand this process everything, but whenever you hold this view, everything is empty itself, then you have that problem. But the right view is the ultimate truth is not empty itself. The relative truth is, yes, empty, true, existent. Yes, but the ultimate truth is not empty itself, only empty of other, which means empty of samsara, empty of suffering, empty of illusion. So that means the ultimate truth cannot be illusion. If it is that equally illusion, then what you aiming for? So that's why, that's the right view, okay? So when we understand this then match to the Tantrayana. Otherwise, that means the Tantrayana have to be the end game and the grant, the best. Whatever we're talking about, true truth, the path, whatever we're talking about, the best. What's the best? The best is the Buddha nature. So all schools believe Buddha nature, no argument. But how you understand the Buddha nature is different, because both true truth empty. These people understanding Buddha nature is just emptiness. Okay? And then the other one say Buddha nature means real Buddha quality, full real Buddha quality itself. So and then if you have right now the real Buddha quality within yourself right now, and then the end game Dharmakaya and this Buddha nature is exactly the same quality. The only difference is the name. Why difference is the name? Because the person right now didn't actualize your own truth.
yet. You are lost in illusion. That's the only reason, different name. And different way of, there's reason called different name, because you have to understand differently. But the reality is exactly the same. If you understand this, then it makes sense. You say, oh, the Vajrayana, the highest Vajrayana, the end game bring to the path makes sense. So what it means is the end game is Dharmakaya. This Buddha nature is same exact nature. So when you practice in path, you have to make closeness to the Buddha nature, and the Buddha nature have to have influence in your existence, your life. Your relative, our body, mind, everything have to have influence of the Buddha nature. If you have influence in Buddha nature, that means you practice in Tantrayana. Okay, that means our five poisons, like the anger, jealous, all of these things, they are still, you have interconnected with Buddha nature. Why? Because the Buddha nature is supreme anger, supreme desire, supreme jealous, supreme pride. Everything is called supreme. That is Tantrayana text set. It's not I just made up. Okay? So that means nothing, you don't need abandon them. Because in the Sutrayana say, oh, these all bad ones you have to get rid of, otherwise you never reach Buddhahood. But the Tantrayana way, no, this is connected with my supreme Buddha nature, supreme anger, supreme desire, and they connected. That's why you don't need abandon. You use them as part. To make it really easy to understand, if you have 5 machines, like your car, and you have big tool and tractor or many things, 5. If somebody say, oh, these are all very dangerous, you have to get rid of them. There is some truth, because yes, they are dangerous if you don't know how to use them, right? So that is the truth of the Sutrayana saying. But the Tantrayana say, no, you don't need to get rid of any of them. You just have to learn how to use them. They are incredible, helpful, beneficial. That's it. So then it's the truth. That's why you don't need abandon your tractor and your car and your, even nuclear, your electricity, everything. And even electricity is incredible dangerous. Somebody have zero knowledge of the electricity, But when we know, there's incredible useful. So that's we're talking about. That's why Tantrayana, the highest yoga Tantrayana, you have to understand that view. And when you have understand that view, and then you know how to practice this, okay? And then you are on the Tantrayana. Then you are the right path, and you are the right focus, right priority, and right emphasizing. But even though you say, oh, I like Tantrayana, I like highest yoga Tantrayana, I like the most high. People say, I like my ego, I like the high, but you don't know how you like it. Why you like it? You don't know. Because you like Tantrayana, but you still, for poses, or I have to put it, throw away, like my anger, everything. I have to fight my anger, I have to fight my desire, I have to fight my jealous, I have to fight means like posing, right? Posing, you don't want, So that means you practice in Sutrayana still. You think you love Tantrayana and you understand it, but not. You are, oh yes, I do, because I do visualization, this is my deity, my idam deity, then I have this sadhana, blah, 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 blah. They are secondary factors. They are the secondary factors of Vajrayana. That's why you are not totally wrong path, but you are wrong emphasis, and wrong focus, and wrong prioritizing. Why? Because you're not focusing the primary essence. Okay? The primary essence with your Buddha nature, and this, the Buddha nature, the undergate bring to the path. The fruition bring you not, fruition of Dharmakaya you not bring to the path. If you're not doing this, that's why you contradict Tantrayana. And when you're not using these things and try to abandon and try to avoid it, and anger, desire, these things, then you are practicing Sutrayana. You're practicing Sutrayana. Then your deity and like wisdom, deity, visualization, this is like kind of Tantrayana. Or you can say secondary factor of Tantrayana. It's not real essence Tantrayana. That's why I'm saying you are not wrong path, but you have wrong emphasis and wrong focus. Okay? So that is we need to know. Okay? That we need to know. Okay, then I'll say, okay, then I understand one thing I understood now. The view is have to be understand. The Dharmakaya, the end game, have to be within ourselves right now. We just need unveil. We just need how to get to close and how to unveil slowly. That's we need to know. But how do it? Because our existence, your own virtues mind, like such as faith and concentration, mindfulness, all these things, awareness, all of them. Of course, you can practice, no problem. But not only this, your anger or your desire, everything we can use. Then you have to learn how to use them. Okay? Now is the little bit difficult is how to use. Okay? So how to use is we have to agree, we have to accept there is many ways, but also there's many ways means the best way and second best way, third best way, fourth best way, and I can try, all of them exist. That's we have to understand. Okay, that means when I try to say the best way means you have access your Buddha nature. When you have but access Buddha nature, or means you experience even tiny portion of your Buddha nature if you experienced, this is incredible powerful. So that no more our anger, desire, all of them you have influence. So that Buddha nature experience influence our existence. So therefore, then we can practice so well. Okay? Why so well? Because anger, desire, jealous, doesn't matter. All of them energy. They are energies. There are nothing wrong itself. Why is it wrong? Why we have problem from this? Because we don't know how to track them. Just same as your tractor, your nuclear weapon, your electricity, your car, all of them, if you don't know how to use, you never learn. Instead, you just visualize the car. So, if we never ever practice, then we don't know how to use, then it's extremely dangerous. Going to kill you, So, same thing. All our these anger, desire, everything we don't know how to use. That's the problem. But how to use very well the best way. Your Buddha nature have to influence this. Okay. Now you have to think. Then how I experience my Buddha nature, and how I influence my Buddha nature or these purposes. Yeah. Now, that is tricky question, okay? That's why tricky question, and so that's why this one you need, you need a lot of conditions, or many road conditions make you perfectly clicked on Buddha nature, okay? So then this one, now we should think about what the ancient time and what modern, okay? So ancient time, how does work Tantrayana? Ancient, have to think about how ancient time people, how we live in the ancient time. We are live in the ancient time, we are live isolated. Everybody isolated. And we don't have these technologies. We don't know many information. That time people is the mentality that people is more innocent. Innocent. Okay? Innocent people have very focused mind. Less distraction. So that time, how Tantrayana works is secret, incredible pursuits, unbelievable pursuits. If you make the right condition, then I teach you little bit. And then you practice this, and then you are ready, I teach you next one. And then you ready, then I teach you next. And not telling what's the goal, not telling what's next. That time is work that way. Do you know why? Because people innocent, and people have no distractions, and people believe what people say. You know, that somebody is meant to be enlightened, and they say they believe 100%, no doubt. Okay, and that's why it works. That's why it works. Then whatever their instruction, they do 100% without any question, without any doubt. So that's why it works. And their mind is incredible, appreciative, and incredible, tremendous respect and honor, incredible like this. So that's why Tibetans cross the Himalayas. They risk their lives. Many people, they died, risk their lives. The most cold place, they go travel the most hot place for Dharma. They risk their life. They give everything they belong in, they turn to small gold and keep this. And so how can I offer this gold? Somebody teach me, yeah? Teach me spiritual. That way they went. So when I look at the Indians stories now, the Indians are, if one way or you look at the Indians, oh, that's terrible. They say, oh, if you don't give me that much gold, I don't teach you nothing. If you give me this drop gold, then I teach you this little, but then if you don't give me this double, if you give me this double, then I teach you the next one. It's like that. If nowadays somebody tell you this, how do you think? Your mind think, oh, you have no 1 minute patience on that one, okay? You think this is like Robert. This is Robert, okay? So nobody trusts this, nobody like this, nobody appreciates this, but they do. So that's why they got realizations, okay? That means these Indians, they're talking gold, you want gold, everything gold. That means they could be incredible enlightened ones, and then, this person, receivers, they need this, that's why they're doing a possible, but also possible they are robbers. Possible, but it doesn't matter, even the robber is works for you, because it's all, everything, remember, according to Dharma, everything is subjective, not really objective. Remember? Everything, organ, everything is mainly subjective, it's not objective. Because everything is your karmic version. If you see this Robert is like enlightened being, then you're going to transform. It's not the problem, the Robert. But nowadays we are very objective and we incredibly huge judgment, So I know nowadays the Tibetans only respect Dalai Lama, nobody else. Even some people, they don't even, Dalai Lama don't respect. Some minority people, they all other lamas are kind of deleted. So like me, nothing, zero, like. So what happened? I'm not talking only just Tibetans, but the whole world I'm talking about become like this. That's why I'm saying this way difficult to work, and this modern time, because people's mental mind is completely changed. So what is good about these modern people is have a lot of knowledge, doesn't matter. It's so many. Your head is full, okay? Full. Because even if you're not full, you can just few finger moves, okay, this answer, okay. But the problem, we have so much distraction, and then have so much doubt and so much skepticism. So if we say, oh, this very little, this is secret, blah, 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 not works. Oh, it's secret? Okay, look at the internet. Oh, no, I found it. It's not secret there. So you can find anything. We can't guarantee all of them is truth. There is false information, but difficult to distinguish, but there is information. Incredible, plenty, unbelievable. So that's why we are just totally changed. So now what to do? We still have to understand that ancient values. We have to still understand that there is, if we appreciate, if we honor, if we incredible respect and trust, and then there is spiritual transformation. That we try to believe. It's very hard to believe, but you still have to try. And some individuals, of course, still you can do it. Minority, okay, I would say. So now, this secret, it does work? No. You can't secret because everything is there, And then also the problem we are now, in the ancient time, I say, the disciple seeking the master, risking their life, and all belongings offer. I offer my body, speech, mind, and then I get it. But now, nobody bother you searching. Nobody bothers searching master. All masters have to advertise and promotion. Oh, yeah, you come here, I have this offer, please come. We just like the commercial, business. Have to do that. There's no other way. If you want to reach more people, whether you have good motivation or just business, or either way, you have to do the same thing. You can't do any other way. Can we? No, nobody is searching anything. They want to expect everything in your finger point, right? In front of you, in the computer, in your phone. If not there, can't be bothered. How much impatience, incredibly impatience, because we have so much available this information. So make people very, very impatient, and very quickly lose concentration, right? So now what to do? What we have now, the good thing is we have education. We have no more general education. We are much better than ancient time. Much ancient time, incredible ones on nowadays average person same. Okay? So now what you have to do? Explain and give the clarity. What is the Tantrayana? Why they have many hands and many, like legs, and they have a sexual union, and they have killing some other beings, and what it means? What is the deeper meaning? We have to learn this. When we understand this, then we have a little bit potential. We have a potential because we have nobody's illiterate, and everybody have, to learn habit. From the kindergarten up to universe, everybody have learn habit. And so that's why you can learn well. So that's why this is the only way. So we have to explain. So now what I'm going to explain, how do you practice Vajrayana? With all your existence turns out like path, how you do it. The best way, still I think is the best possibility, is similar to the ancient way. We have to have many conditions. The most condition I would suggest, if the best fortune if we have, you have to train from the childhood. You have trained very nicely your mental attitude and your physical yoga, everything. Trained so nicely without telling any goal, without telling the goal. That's a little bit difficult, huh? No, that people have to know everything, the end, what I get benefit, what's for me. So that's why it's not easy, but if somebody is fortunate enough, you have this incredible everything, trained. And then until you are 16, 17, that time, if you can introduce real Tantrayana, probably that's the best way of work. That's the best way of work, which means Tantrayana means, Sutrayana means you are working on the mind, and you expecting the result very long time, right? But Tantrayana means you working with body and mind together, you're working. So which means the most important, this is one problem. The most important, you have to have spiritual master, your Lama, your Guru. You have to have that one. But nowadays people it's difficult because nowadays people thinking, I have information, then I can learn. Just like instruction of the machines how to use, So expect that way, a computer instruction, everything, instruction I have, and I go to YouTube, I listen, and then I know how to use. Think that way. Enlightenment also, I can read the secret texts. If I can find the secret texts, the secret ones, if we find this, then I know how to practice. Then I practice chakra, this meditation, then I can do it. Unfortunately, you cannot do that. Because why? If you can that way, that means you don't need to go school, never go school, never even go kindergarten, and never nothing. And can you learn everything reading by? Can you learn equally everything as you go to school? No possible. Remember? But that's only just samsara knowledge. But the enlightenment is something huge, So that one without appreciation, impossible. So, and then I think that we have the struggling is, I don't need guru, I don't need devotion, I can do it myself. Why you think that way? Because mostly learn Buddhism come from Christianity in the West, and come from Christianity. Why you don't like, or you don't want Christianity and you want Buddhism now? Why? Because Christian, I don't believe because this God and created God, blah blah blah. Okay, that's why you didn't satisfy it. Christian, you can't question many things. You can't question about God. You have to be believe, right? You have to be believe, and you have the love and devotion to God, and don't question. If the question is bad, I don't want that one. Buddhism is much better because Buddha said, you can question anything. You don't have to believe me, my words, and you can analyze, blah blah. That's excellent. That's excellent because we Our direction is the modern direction is me. I'm my boss. Everything I can do it. I don't have to believe anybody. I don't need bow down anybody. I can do it myself. We are that direction. Remember? So then you like Buddhism. Oh yes, they're very logical. I can debate and yeah, that makes sense. Then you like it. But then people say, oh, the Tantrayana, oh, eons, and Buddhahood, but Tantrayana, one lifetime. Oh, then I want Tantrayana. I want the best. I want the best. I don't want the worst, medium. I want the best. That's the mentality. That's everybody's mentality. I want the best. Okay, but unfortunately, this best one requires, as your original one don't like one, the Christian. No question. The God, you have to have devotion and faith. That requires on Tantrayana. Unfortunately, so that's why 10 people fell. 10 people fell, okay? You fell because of that. Because you reject one is you have to face that problem now. And even worse, because God is something invisible and is little bit easier to imagine and believe. But these lamas, the lamasm, and these lamas, they are like just normal human. They have many problems. So how can I think they are better than Buddha? How can I think they are embodiment of Buddha? That's our struggling, okay? But ancient time, people works because they don't think that way. They don't think that way. They think, oh, this Lama, oh, embodiment Buddha, oh, fantastic. I never fortunate to see the Buddha, but I have no Lama. Or this, Mahasiddha, that's so unfortunate. I'm so fortunate. That kind of incredible appreciation and this kind, and that just works. Why? Because all illusion anyway. Remember? All relative is illusion anyway. Whatever your mind thinks, it works that way. Remember? That's even nowadays, I think majority of people understand. That's why we have medicine. Somebody is not medicine, give you something and it's medicine. Then you take it, oh yes, help me. Because you believed it is my medicine. That's why it is help you. Because objectively not exist, it's really subjective, remember? So that hit the problem for us. So we have to be mindful of that. So then, okay, I don't like the Vajrayana, I prefer Sutayana, and I just say, I take refuge Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, no Guru, no Lama. Fine, no problem. This is your path, it's Sutayana path, no problem. Enjoy Sutayana, But the problem, the Vajrayana comes, oh, I take refuge Lama first, before Buddha. Why? Why before Buddha? I think this is skillful means. Actually, it's skillful means. What means Buddha is so far away, you don't know Buddha. You just only know the story. But there is Lama, just like you. Just like you, a human being. And if you can, your heart, you really love each other, not the possessive love, but the genuine and love and devotion you have each other, then it does works. Because you not love samsaric reasons, you love enlightened reasons, and then so work for enlightenment. Okay? So that is our challenge. But we have to consider and think about, should I choose Sutayana or Tantrayana? That's one thing. And then, of course, sincerity. People in the world, you have to do all the samsaric job. You have to fake, you have to pretend, and you have to have ego, and so many other things. So we have to drop all of them. You have to drop all of them, and we have to be sincere. Okay? Sincere. And then you have that sincerity, and you have the devotion, and genuine love, and then you have the faith. When you have sincerity, genuine love, then you have faith, and trust naturally comes. Okay? And then there's no way to wrong way to go, you know. So that's why in Tibet we call Lami Chakson Chu Nziga Kartun Shep. If the Lama said to the west, this is the east, then you say, okay. Go this side, this is east, okay, I go there. So if that's struggling, then okay, maybe I consider Sutrayana, you know. I mean, Sutrayana, doesn't matter Sutrayana or any spiritual practice, you still have to have respect human beings, especially your teacher or this thing, you have to respect more than normal people do. You know, that is your fundamental the condition to success your spiritual path. But not as huge as like the Tantrayana, you know. So the distance you have to understand. And then when we understand distance, what happens? What does make you different? It's not about, if you think that way, then it's the Lama fly, and because before it's like a normal human being, but now it's flying, you know. It's not like that. It means make yourself transform. Because this your special mentality, transform yourself. Transform yourself means you experiencing your true nature, Buddha, the Buddha nature, your true nature of the Buddha nature. You experiencing this. You experience this means indescribable, we can say, in this stage, easier say. But something incredible and indescribable, and you know, and you cannot describe, but this experience is unimaginable, unbelievable. So something you absolutely love it, of course. So when you experience this, then what you have to do, you have to keep experiencing this. And you know, you practice it on this. That I'm saying, this dominates all your normal existence. Your anger, your jealous, your pride, all of them dominate. Dominate means your anger work is different now. Your work anger is like you, after you drive car, how does work the car for you? And before you don't drive, doesn't work for you, right? Now it's working for you. As wherever you want to go, you can go quickly. And so useful. After you learn that you know how to electricity use, everything, your farm, your tractor, it's so work incredibly. Because why? Because your skill. So this one, your skill means your Buddha nature's experience. Okay? Because why? Because you have the all right conditions, the all right merit, the conditions, accumulations, and this right attitude, you know, this the sincerity and this devotion, the love, everything come together, then activate your the we call the mind, you know, love and the devotion, and these things activate your, how do you say, the most subtle level, most refined level of your mind, which means Buddha nature. But this activate, then your body, the most subtle level of your body, you know, we call physical bodhicitta, activate. So then you experience many things and everything, incredible. So the most of people always say, oh, Tantra is about sex, yeah? About sex. Oh, Tantra in the West, oh, Tantra means sex. Okay, Tantric sex. So which means people went focus a small area of Tantra. So because Tantrayana means everything your existence you can trace the path. So that means every belonging things, your object, you know, let's say you have a shed inside, you have many junks and everything, but if you have skills, the old junks you can make very nice furniture and many things you can make. The same thing, when you have skills of this access of Buddha nature and this activation experience, the subtleness, then your sex, everything you can make as part. But people focus only sex. Why? Because they didn't know. People didn't know, and just okay, sex everybody like, and that's why that's one. This one I have to learn this one. But it's not it's about sex. Why? How can be sex? Because sex means how many times do you spend sex in 24 hours? Huh? And how many hours do you spend a year? Think about it. You know, some people maybe just few hours a year. Huh? So the rest of time you have no opportunity to practice Tantra. That must be very slow path, you know. There can't be that slow path. It's slow, not slow path, is long. It's very fast path. Why? Because every single thing, your anger, your jealous, your pride, you know, and your, of course your faith and you know, generosity, you know, this mind and compassion, love, of course, but even just anger and jealous, everything becomes useful. That's why the Tantrayana is fast. That's why it's easy. Why easy? Because something we already have, we don't need to abandon anything. All of them become useful. Like you have so many multiple skills, so then all your junk is incredible, become useful. Huh? The same thing. Otherwise we have to throw away, even if we buy expensive machine things, a little bit problem, then we have to throw away. Huh? Because we don't have skills, right? It's like that. So that's why the Tantrayana practice is, we need to focus how to practice our own existence. You know, that's we need. Okay? So now this is, I'm talking about the best scenario. Best scenario if you have all these right conditions, right? And then you can practice this way, perfectly works. Which means that you experience the Buddha nature, but that's not easy because many conditions. You have this love and you know, devotion and the sincerity and trust and faith and accommodation, merit and love and compassion. It's so many. Huh? Without all of them, not possible. Okay, not possible. Even seems like possible, that's just temporary. Temporary. We call it nyam. That comes and goes. But if it's consistently progress, then you need all of these conditions. That's why, okay? But now what I'm going to talk about this, until now, everybody say, Tantrayana is very difficult. Why? Because some people say, oh, you have to study all Sutayana perfectly and then Tantrayana. That is wrong, no, okay? That is wrong, but it's unfortunately like this. Not just you guys foreigners, you know, foreigner for the Tantrayana Buddhism. We are Tibetans. We doing this. We call we are Vajrayana Buddhism, and we have our all decorations. Everything is Vajrayana, and our huge long rituals. Do you know the most complex rituals in the world? Tibetan. I can guarantee, okay? One ritual text, you have thousands of pages. They are not even just continue. They have to be jump, on jump, up jump, just there's so many complex, okay? And they have millions also incredible deep and everything. But the problem is, people outside Tantrayana, but inside is more Sutayana focus. Which means how do you know? Because you see the value, how they evaluate is desire and all these things is opposite. They consider like this, you have to abandon. Is that familiar? Oh, no, we have to use them. Which one familiar? If you have conversation with the Tibetans, definitely they say, oh, you have to abandon. How many lamas give you teaching and teachers that they say, okay, you don't need abandon? Did they say? Oh, you have to abandon. I mean, in your mind, I'm sure, oh, yeah, everybody say, you have to abandon. Have to have renunciation, right? Renunciation of samsara. Or say all of them. So because it's wrong, not wrong path, but the wrong emphasis, you know, contradicting with Tantrayana and Sutayana. Okay? So that's the dream. That's why our path is not success, not so success. I'm not talking about individually, some people of course success. But the majority not success as should be. Okay, that's why. But now what I want to tell you is, this is I wrote my book. I have written recently a book about this how to use the desire and all emotions, how to path, and especially sexuality, how to use everything. I wrote a book in Tibetan, a process translate, not yet finished. But I'm talking about, but my intention to write a book is, and I hope really benefits everybody. And clear away the mistakes and confusions, So that's my hope. Now I want to focus to tell you, okay, these all conditions perfect, then we can perfect Tantrayana. But okay, not perfect conditions, then what to do? Can anybody practice? In general, your answer is no. You have to have good foundation. You have to have all modules, practice, preliminaries, blah, blah, blah. Afterwards, no way. You have to empowerment, blah, blah, blah. Okay? I say all of them, yes, if it's the perfect way, yes, all of them are good condition. But is anybody can try? Is anybody can try anytime? The answer, I say yes. I would like to make this statement to say yes. Yes, 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 yes. Why I say yes? Because we all have this. We all have 5 posits. The others, of course, but 5 posits. Why we can't try? Because we are modern people. We are modern people means we are educated and good communication. Educated means good communication. Okay? So if we have good communication, you can try. Anybody can try. I'm not guarantee you're going to be very successful, okay? But anybody can try. Why? Because now you know all my anger, desire, everything is nothing wrong innately. The only wrong is I know how to drive them, how to direct them. I know to abandon them. And why? Because their energy. For instance, anger means you have incredible energy and make you brave. Brave? Brave is good quality, yeah? Everybody think brave, courageous. Is everybody, all cultures say good quality. Anger is bad quality. But actually they are same. If it's not, you think about if the 10 tigers run up to you, can you be very angry? Something is incredible, dangerous, we don't have anger. We scared. Scared means no anger. You get it? So that means we have no courage. But if you have anger, you can fight with the tiger, you can fight with the bear. If you have tremendous anger, you can fight with anybody. So that means good quality, okay? You can use that. The only problem, we not using anger. Anger uses us. Anger directs us. And then we do big mistakes. And then we have to experience the serious consequences. That's the only problem. That's nothing wrong, anger. We are wrong. Why we are wrong? Because we have no training. Have you ever trained how to use anger? Is anybody trained you in the school? Your parents, your teachers? Anybody? No, because that's the problem. We have to train ourselves. First, we have to know anger, desire, everything, nothing's wrong itself. They are all energy. Especially desire means beautiful energy, incredible attraction, passion, enjoyment, pleasure, everything in the desire. Okay? So we have to train ourselves how to use this very well. Okay? So that means we know when I need desire. how much degree desire I need, when I need stop. That's exactly you drive a car. You know how much speed I need, how much slow down I need, and where I turn. What the last, everything, you are perfect. I don't know how to use a car, okay? But you guys, perfect drive car. So same thing, if you can do the anger, desire, jealous, pride, everything, if you can do that, you're going to be perfect. So that means I say anybody can do this, why not? Because this is the essence of Tantrayana. If you practice this well, then maybe you later on you can do, that means maybe I need Buddha or like the spiritual master or something I need, give my love and devotion unconditionally. And then you are even more experienced Buddha nature. When I say we can try anger and everything we can try, that means I'm talking about without you experiencing Buddha nature. But still you can try, and doesn't matter how many times you fail. I'm not saying you never fail. How many times you fail doesn't matter, you get progress. Every time you fail, you get in progress. All our learners, we fail. How many times do you never fail? Have you learned anything never once fail? Of course you fail. Even we ABC learn, how many times do you fail? So everything is far, but still you can make progress. That we can do. But when we know this, then maybe we have some faith. And then we have, this maybe love and condition, all these things arise. This incredible, beautiful faith and, devotion, or this appreciation and, honor, and those things maybe arise. When they arises, then you activate your subtle body, and your subtle mind, bodhicitta, working together, then you are clipped into the Buddha nature. So then it works. Okay? So that's anybody can try. That's why I'm saying the Tantrayana is modern term, is not something high term. You can't have, it's already explored everywhere and make me confused. Also, I'm not saying nothing's hide anybody. I'm not saying, for instance, I don't give high empowerment until they practice well. But that also sometimes helps. But I'm saying not everything high. It's better to educate it and explore and try. Okay? So I say that. So I leave here. If you have any questions, please.
We have about 15 minutes for Q&A.
You can have a question, or you can debate me, or if you disagree, no problem.
Just what is a good way if you've had some exposure? Oh. Yes. If you've had some exposure, some teaching and empowerment, maybe you've received part of a practice, but not the whole practice, because they're so elaborate. What is a good way in the modern world to develop a daily practice that is not the complete monastic practice?
Yeah.
A formal practice, not just working with the emotions,
Yeah.
but a formal practice.
Yeah.
What is an appropriate way to do that now?
Okay, I would say if you are already in the if you are already kind of believing and already kind of the path, and you have learned some degree, learned everything, and you really try, and you already tried, then I would say number one thing, you have to have understand the love and devotion. I need at least somebody, preferably is a human being, a teacher. Okay, that's Tantrayana works. But if that's you have incredible struggling, at least the Buddha or some deity or whatever, that's better than nothing. Human being is the preferable. But if not, then you can, let's say, whoever the figure, or if you have some connection, that is necessary. And then the lineage, everything is necessary. But all the teachers, there's many teachers. Some people say, oh, you don't go teachers, other teachers, blah, blah. I would say, you explore everybody. And you less judgmental, and you take the best you can. It's not. I'm not saying a greedy way and take granted. I'm talking about you are the optimistic mind and a respected mind. With this, you can try anything. And then you practice. Yes, sometimes try formal practice. Sometimes do casual practice. Sometimes your work and your daily life, try to integrate as much as you can, So your anger and your jealous, everything you can exercise. Okay, less jealous, and can I stop jealous? Less anger, and then stop anger. Everything you can try. So I would say, if you exercise, I believe every of you can find out, oh, yes, better than not try it. Definitely not better than never try it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I was going to introduce, my name is Sarah Chosu, commentary to board. I wanted to know your name again, please. I missed it. So, what is your name? I'm very happy to meet you.
Oh, my, the Buddhists always call title and not name. So my title is Khentrul Rinpoche.
Khentrul
My
Rinpoche.
real name is Japalodu.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming to New York. I wanted to know more about what I saw in the description here. On the spot, if I'm in a situation and I'm very aware of impermanence now as I'm getting older, and certain attachments or desires lead to very bad results if one indulges in them. So what is something one can do, let's say I'm doing a yidam practice, which I am. So what is this that person can do in that moment on the spot to assist in that reality of letting go of all these attachments? They just lead to nothing but suffering. Do you have any advice about that?
Can you do me a second?
Sorry.
How to enjoy the spot?
No, I don't have enough voice to speak from her. She's wanting to know
She's
better.
going to speak in Tibetan.
No, I'm speaking
She was translating.
I'm translating.
My English is that bad?
No, I translate English.
Yeah, but I always want to know the essence of it.
She was about to start talking.
I'm sick. If she's practicing, how does she really use the desire, the anger in that moment?
Not anger,
and then
desire.
specifically desire, especially.
Mary can do
Especially if she has bad things. Okay, Mary can summarize into the
it. Okay, my limitation, not your English.
It was so funny.
And she's practicing her rhythm.
Yeah.
How can she take desire
My English that
on
bad.
the spot,
My native language.
on
No.
as part of the path?
Spot.
Just at that moment.
words
Oh.
As
usually
part of
get,
the
so
path.
I just
Oh.
bring it down.
How does she take desire at that
That's so
moment?
funny. I'm
When
sure
she's
you can
practicing.
translate.
Okay, your yidam practice, if the male and female union, then there is everything there, instructions, right?
Yes.
So you can do accordingly.
And I'm doing also just to plain yidam, my yidam that I learned from the Dalai Lama when I was 16 is white Tara my whole life. But now I'm at the point where it's like, where's the microphone? Where I just don't know. I get all this news, like news from non-Tibetan, allopathic doctors, regular doctors, and it's amazing. Like the last 2 days, impermanence coming soon, and it's like it's hitting me so hard. And I have so much more to give the world, and so much more I want to do. Come back. to give things that I know to the world. So I'm just wondering, Stephen, if you have advice about that, how to, besides the practice, like just bringing it to everything in my life more. That's all.
Every difficult moment, especially if you get back to discussions like that, how do you take that right into the path at that moment? Bad moments, how do you take that into the path at that point?
So difficult moments is, according to Tantrayana, of course we have to think of this as my purification of karma, and I'm glad I have purified with practice. If you do practice something, you are taking the suffering as like million times more than you should have, could have, and it turns like this small suffering. I mean, small comparatively. You have to think that way. And so, if you are like the cartwheel practice Vajrayana, then then is these sufferings, all of them is turns another energy and not really suffering. It's like that.
I see what you're saying. Just transfer to something else. Thank you.
You want to?
There's another question.
756.
So you spoke about how using the various poisons or desires in a positive way is beneficial. How exactly does using our poisons in a positive way purify them or remove them? What actually happens?
I'm talking about not remove, when we say using means. Remove is the Tantrayana way. And Tantrayana way is not need to remove. For instance, if we are not doctor, then we say, oh, this is poison and this is medicine. So we can, the medicine when only we can deal, the poison when we have to get rid of, we don't go near and we don't touch, right? But if you are such incredible doctor, you know this poison also medicine. This poison, if you use a little bit different way, then turns medicine. Remember? There's nothing, no can't turn medicine. And anything, any grow, any plants, for instance, or not only plants, rocks and many things. So the same way, when we are ready with Buddha nature, or if not Buddha nature, then still you can try that the desire you use as your tool. Like the desire means you have some passion, and there is, desire means something you want. It's a want means you like. It's not about suffering and sad. It's something you're looking for enjoyment. Like. So then you can use this as a path, and whatever you want to achieve, you use as like horse or your car or like this way. You ride on that, and you use. The only problem, sometimes you don't know how to ride, then you have accident. You just have to learn bit by bit how to ride.
My question is kind of technical. So I try to practice every day and connecting to what you said in the moment. When you say use the desire, if I'm sitting there and I'm meditating and I see the desire, I'm mindful of the desire, what does it mean to use it other than observe it?
Yeah.
How do I use it? I see it, sometimes I hate it or I like it, but what does it mean to use?
When you hate it or you have anger, means there's energy, right? is that energy where I can use? You have to think about it and you have to look for what this energy I can use as beneficial. For instance, let's say if you have to say something to somebody, but you are scared to say, right? Then one day you angry and then you can say it. That's because anger's energy is beneficial. You have to say something, you should say something, but you're scared to say it, but your anger helps you to say it, right? Anything, like something achievement that you can achieve, but with your anger you can achieve, right? So similarly, there's the jealous and everything, the desire, everything. There is some things you can use. If there is no useful, then you need to know how to stop this. Yeah. So when you don't need the right car, you know how to stop, right? When you reach the dentist or dangerous, then you know how to stop. It's exactly the same.
I'm sorry, can I ask another question based
Yeah.
on what you said? How about, I think the biggest obstacle, my biggest desire is to sleep. I'm tired all the time, I don't have energy. So I have the desire to rest. Can that be used?
Sleep, I don't think it's a desire, but
No?
sleep is not desire, but you need sleep. If you are tired, you need sleep. And look, you just have to know how much amount of sleep is good for me. Yeah, you have to make a decision, and you have to know that. But if you sleep in, you should sleep, because otherwise it's not good for you. Right? Remember, you have to find time to sleep.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you. I have a potentially very boring question. Where you started, you said, the strong view that both absolute level and relative level are empty, and you said the better view is that absolute level is empty of other, but maybe not empty on its own. This is helpful in
Yeah.
Tantrayana. I'm just trying to think, how do people get into the state of both being empty? Is that ever useful? Where does that come from?
So basically, how can people get into the realm of Tantra? Does anyone ever believe that they?
Oh yes, many people believe, because brainwashed, people brainwashed basically. People are easy to brainwash. So this philosophical things also is complicated. So not easy. So it's more easy to brainwash, But the simple way you have to think about it. We have to simple think. If both, the ultimate truth is also essenceless. Empty means you have to think of essenceless. No more. Empty means absent, nothing, no essence. Yeah. So absolute truth is that's most disappointment, right? There is no truth at all. But if we say the relative truth, something's not truth, that's okay. For instance, if you have a nightmare in the dream, so then you realize, oh, no problem, this is not just the dream, right? You lose many things, you lose beloved one, you are bankrupt, and you have divorce position in your dream. But then you realize, oh, it is dream, you wake up. That's no problem, right? But yourself now is really in trouble after wake up. That's the problem, right? The similar way, samsara and this illusion is illusion, that's okay, because that's all illusion. This ego of me is not really me, it's just temporary me, but my true myself is enlightened. So then we have something hanging on. Right? We have something aiming for. But if even that is the same as the relative truth, then what? What do we do? We can't do anything. We don't have to do anything, basically. Right? So that means if you know I'm dreaming and I'm suffering, but it's a dream, then you can aim for wake up. Right? But wake up also is just bad as a dream. Then what's the point? What the point to wake up? Huh? Same thing.
She uses the dedication time because for kids.